Good morning. I am Brigid. I'm known by many names: Brigantia, Bree, Brigid, Bride, and I am within each of you. I hold the eternal flame within your sacred self, and this flame never dies. The flame within your womb space sparks through the darkness with creativity and inspiration. It rises up into your heart so that what is being fueled is nurtured by love. The flame rises into your throat so that you can express your words, what you desire to put into the world. The flame is held in your head, full of wisdom and knowledge that is always with you. I stand at thresholds, the in-between places that honor the courage within to be brave and strong, courageous and confident to forge your way through the obstacles and the barriers. Once you proceed and cross over, there is no going back, and your life will take on a new journey and path if you are willing and ready. I am here and ready to midwife you through what is ready to be born. The fire within us has helped grow these seeds that are here at this time, ready to emerge. Let them out. They are ready for this time. I carry a sword along with a shield to the battlefield. I am not thirsty for blood. I am not thirsty for revenge. I am thirsty for truth, and I am thirsty for justice. I will help you with your battles and the battles that we stand for and the battles that we stand with. Our time is calling for you and us to enter these battles with a new spark, to fuel the flames through vision, to heal by being sovereign. I am here to help us smithcraft and forge our weapons that will empower us to choose our battles and be the voices of the people, the children, the animals, the plants, and this planet. Help me by opening and spreading my cloak, which will protect and preserve our sacred lands. There are many stories and myths about me. I crossed through the times with men and women who worshiped the rhythms of nature. I survived by being made a saint, and I am now being seen again in so many different ways. Change, dear sister. Change, dear brother. For we can change the way that we perceive these times and our realities. Morph into what pulls and tugs at your heartstrings. We can become anyone and everything that calls our souls out of the darkness and into the light. Never forget the darkness, though, because that is when we rest and when we dream and when we get recharged. Let us heal together, heal ourselves, heal each other, and heal our lovely earth. We are no longer alone, and we stand united, and we are stronger when we stand together. I am awakening you once again as we emerge from our hibernation and come back into the light. Celebrate this time and spend time outside witnessing all that is rising and emerging within and without. So it is, blessed in bulk. These words were crafted by Kelly Eileen Ingalls. I am honored to be here with you today in Florida and to share with you my life and my legacy as a pagan goddess and a Christian saint, a life that I hope will continue to inspire. And so, yes, I am both pagan and Christian, and I feel very much at home with you today in the Unitarian Universalist Church. that honors all the many ways that we connect to that which is greater than ourselves, we connect to ourselves, and we connect to each other. I am deeply moved by the altar that you have set out in my honor. In this brief time together, I will talk a little bit about the altar items and give you some insight into who I was, who I am, and how I continue to serve. I am somewhat of a divine enigma. I am a bridge between two traditions. These two traditions are not identical. They are unique in their own ways, but they do have commonalities. When we open ourselves to all the various ways to deepen our relationship to ourselves and one another and the divine, we are better and we are stronger for it. I offer to those who seek my blessings, healing, creativity, inspiration, protection, and more. I am who you need me to be. I am the goddess of the flame, liminal, born on a threshold at the moment of dawn with fire bursting forth from my head like a halo. I stand with you in the in-between points in your life. I am here to support you. I am a triple goddess, maiden, mother, crone, representing every stage of a woman's life. You may have noticed after the worship service, if you want to come view the altar again, there's a statue there of the maiden, the mother, and the crone, which is something very special to me in my place in life. I would like to share with you a poem written by Brigid-Ancient van Open that speaks to the significance of maiden, mother, crone. Brigid bright, maiden of light, Brigid young and pure, you who carry the innocence of my magical child, who knows where to find the unicorn in the wild forests of my life. You who are the fire of healing within us, lighting up the dark places in my memory to be held in your love. You who are the ignition of the flame of inspiration, showing new ways of being. I see you breaking through the frozen earth as snowdrops, so fragile and still so resilient. I hear your presence in every breath, singing in the springtime as the light returns. I feel you touching me with your white light, stirring my source of potential, meeting me in you. Maiden Brigid, I see myself true. Mother Brigid, I follow you to the fertile lands where my steps synchronize with the resounding rhythm of the heartbeat. The place of creation where you show me how to allow trust to grow into abundance. You who are the waving fields of golden grain at harvest time, the flowing light of your cosmic cow, nourishment for my soul. You invite me into your loving embrace, which unlocks all the lost places inside. The times that I could not find you, or when I did not know of you. There you light your fire, hospitable and warm, and still linger on the threshold. There you feed me from your healing cauldron, the true medicine that comes from unconditional love. And still I wonder if I am deserving. Here you touch my heart softly and tenderly, meeting me and you, Mother Brigid. I welcome myself home. Crone Brigid, I follow you to the liminal places between space and time, following the footprints of your wise white wolf into the unknown. Here you teach me how to howl, to mourn for all that I have lost, offering you my sadness and my despair. In return, you offer me a key which opens the gateway. Here you forge fires, burn strong and bright, shining your light, drawest all that is not real or mine to carry. With every echoing beat of my heart, the lead turns to gold, pain transformed to peace, anger transformed to love, fear transformed to trust. I emerge from your waters, the source of my ancient knowledge, meeting me in you, crone Brigid. I know myself whole. It has been heartbreaking for me to witness the shift through history towards a patriarchal society in which women are not equal to men. In my Celtic culture, this is not the case. Celtic women are valued and respected not only as mothers and wives and daughters, but also as warriors and queens, priestesses and craftswomen. Celtic paganism, and all paganism, honors both the male and female aspects of the divine, the god and goddess, in many different forms. Masculine and feminine aspects of the divine are seen as equal, and both are necessary. Each has a role, but those roles aren't necessarily based on gender, because the Celts have a fluid perspective on gender roles, like Unitarian Universalists, I would say. I founded a monastery, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute, and my leadership was equal to St. Patrick, who was given his own holiday in 1903, 120 years before I was given my own holiday, which just happened last year, by the way. This is only the second year that St. Brigid Day has been celebrated, but better late than never, I suppose. There are many stories that have been told about my life, both as a goddess and as a saint. And I wish I could tell them all to you, but since I cannot, I've chosen a few that I feel are most significant, beginning with what is known as my mantle, or my cloak. Here. And how I used it to outsmart the king when I wanted land for my monastery. A mantle is not rigid. It's a cloth that is wide, sheltering, and inclusive. It is wide and sheltering and inclusive. It has been said that within my mantle, both Christians and pagans can find the divine presence revealed in the ordinary patterns of daily life. They can draw close to the divine in outdoor places, and they can look to the past to find new patterns for life in the 21st century. Soon after I was ordained by St. Patrick, I did want to establish my own monastery. And so I decided that the edge of Kildare in Ireland was the ideal place. It had ample oak forests for the firewood and building, and fresh water at a nearby lake, and a large fertile open plain for growing food. I approached my old acquaintance, the king, and I asked for land in Kildare on which to build my monastery. And he refused. He refused. He didn't want to give up his hard-won land. I was not deterred, and my followers and I prayed that the king would change his mind and that his heart would soften. The second time I asked him, I asked for as much land as my cloak would cover. He thought this was ridiculous. And he agreed. Sure, why not? And he met me on the plains of Kildare. When the king saw my relatively small cloak, he laughed out loud, but he'd be sorry for doing that. I took off my cloak and told 4 of my followers to take hold of a corner of each and walk in 4 different directions: north, south, east, west. As they walked away, my cloak grew and grew and grew until it covered many hundreds of acres. The king was true to his word, and he granted me the land for my monastery. On this land, I founded one of Ireland's most sacred early Christian monasteries about the year 470, often referred to as the Church of the Oak. The king was so taken by this miracle that he became a patron of mine, funding, building, and food and other necessities as my monastery grew. My mantle is now known as a place of spiritual protection, a place of love, compassion, safety, and healing. My mantle is often invoked by the sick with these words: Brigid, spread thy mantle of protection over me. Healing the sick and offering comfort and care to those who are suffering is very important to me. I am known for my magic in the pagan community and for my miracles in the Christian community. To modern folks, magic and miracles might seem silly or irrational and impossible. But to many who feel the world is much more than just intellectual, there is power in the mystery. There is power in the wonder that is beyond what is contained in our minds. I have come to you at this specific point in the wheel of the year for a special reason, because this is the halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox, which is this week. For Celtic pagans, this celebration, named Imbolc, is sacred as it symbolizes the coming of spring and the return of the light. Now, the climate here in Florida is a little different than the climate in Ireland. Quite frankly, I'm enjoying being here because there is no snow, and I'm fine with that right now. But Florida is not immune from the darkness that stretches over our days during winter. This darkness isn't necessarily a bad thing. The creative act of life begins in darkness, within the womb rather than with the birth itself. And so, through the winter months, we consider the dark days to be dream time and the time for creation. But for many of us, including this Reverend Katie I keep hearing about, the lack of sunlight can be a little bit depressing. And so at Imbolc, we celebrate the return of the light. It is a time of renewal, a time when new life rises out of death, a time that shows us that creation is continual and ongoing. At Imbolc, I am honored as protector of hearth and home, of the fires that light the way through the dark times of winter, as well as my role as a fertility goddess. Imbolc is a Gaelic word that refers to sheep, pregnancy, and lactation, and is the time of the year when lambs are born. In ancient times, the birth of lambs would bring a ready supply of milk to feed the tribe through the rest of the late winter and spring until the land could provide proper sustenance. You will see that there is milk on the altar. Unless you come from a place where it snows, you may not be familiar with the flower often associated with Imbolc. Has anyone seen a snowdrop before? Yeah? So it's called a snowdrop, and it is one of the first flowers that pokes up. Reverend Katie has not seen a snowdrop. I, of course, have seen a snowdrop, but it pokes up through the snow right about this time, right about the beginning of February. And some say that the snowdrops appear as I, the goddess, walk through the land, strewing them from under my cloak. I will neither confirm nor deny this. Modern-day Imbolc celebrations remind us that I am alive today, just as I was in long times ago, because I am the goddess of fire. Many modern Imbolc traditions involve flame, and that's why you see several candles lit there upon our altar. If you choose to incorporate candle lighting into your Imbolc celebration, I encourage you to Focus on your intentions that you wish to plant and nurture for the year. This is a very powerful time for starting new projects of any kind, particularly ones that are long-term and involve creativity and work. As I have mentioned, I am known as the goddess of poetry, wisdom, animals, midwifery, and healing. I am also the mistress of the forge. You might have seen the sword on the altar. One of my beautiful devotees, Lily Witchbot-Berger, explains how she connects to this piece of my identity. Lily uses the concept of the forge as a compelling tool, a metaphor for spiritual transformation. She says, our souls enter the crucible of the spiritual journey, and there our relationship with divine heats and purifies the metal. Our relationship heats and purifies the metal, and the ego is burned away in the fire of our connection with the infinite. And the strong metal of our souls can then be shaped by our own life experiences. Just as iron tools are hammered hard to make them useful, life also beats on our souls. Does it not? Yes? But then they are plunged into the living water where they are cooled and nurtured. The process is repeated again and again and again, honing and sharpening our innerness until the raw metal has been transformed into a perfect tool. Meditating on Brigid's Forge can give us greater endurance for the trials and tribulations that we all go through in our spiritual journeys, the times when life requires that we walk through the fire. There are many items on the altar that symbolize nature. I see flowers and amethyst, that's the purple stone, rose quartz. There is honey and birds and seeds. Seems as though someone brought parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme as the seeds. Interesting. There are also, what else do we have in there? We have some cheese. That's lovely, and some other flowers, some actual rosemary. I am very connected to the land. The word pagan comes from the old Latin word that meant literally of the land. Modern Western society, unfortunately, has become a little bit disconnected from the earth, more so than any culture in history. And this saddens me. The earth is sacred. It is divine. It is holy. Creation is something that is constantly happening. It is constantly in motion. There is no beginning and no end to the cycle. I have inherited a strong connection to the entirety of creation. I have a deep, nurturing relationship with water, especially with rivers and springs and wells. I also associate with the oak tree and the birch tree because trees, roots, and branches connect earth and sky. They are doorways between the worlds. They symbolize the balance and the harmony that exists within the natural world, and their new leaves each year are reminders of the rebirth that comes after winter's death. I pray this new world reclaims the divine connection with creation and understands how important it is to protect it. It is now time for us to sing together because I must return to my realm. And I'm so grateful that you invited me here to worship with you today in this awesome congregation of beautiful people. And as is your custom, we are going to sing a hymn from your hymnal, one that I am absolutely in love with. It fits this perfectly. It's called Touch the Earth and Reach the Sky. So if you'll please rise as you are willing and able and sing our closing hymn.